Good evening. My name is David Goldman. I want to welcome you to ASA. Please give yourselves a big round of applause for being here tonight. There should be on the table the agenda, if you haven't gotten it, the donation by our guest tonight. I want to salute Ed Rosenthal. He's here tonight. Give Ed Rosenthal a big round of applause. I don't know if any of the books are left. I think people have already picked them up. He left some Medical Marijuana 101 books there. Are they all gone?
Yeah.
Oh, they're all gone. Well, maybe someone will share. Okay, and we also have the next meeting document there, which we're meeting next on May 1st, 2 weeks from tonight, same time, 7:30 right here. And at this point, I want to first thank our sponsors tonight. First of all, I'd like to thank Mario and the staff of the Green Door for their support for letting us use this great space. And I also want to thank Kevin Reed and the staff of the Green Cross who give us tremendous logistical support in numerous ways. Please give them a big round of applause too. And I want to now allow the other members of the court to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Hunter Holloman. I'm on the SF ASA Corps here. I'm also on the Medical Cannabis Task Force here in San Francisco that does some advising for the Board of Supervisors. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to come up and ask me.
My name is Tony Bowles. I'm a veteran of this movement, not really a soldier. I haven't served in the military, but I've just been a part of it for so long. 10 years I've been involved with ASA. Looking forward to wrapping this up soon here and making sure safe access is provided to all Americans.
Okay. Michael?
I'm Michael Cohen. I'm a member of the Corps, and it's great seeing a lot of familiar faces. Those of you I haven't met, whom I have not met before, it'll be a pleasure to meet you tonight. And it's about affordable and safe access for medical cannabis for patients.
Yes, I'm sorry. My name is Karen. Sorry, it's been a long day. It's been a long Tuesday. And I'm sorry that Tony and I weren't here at the last meeting, but we are, well, at least I'm trying to circle back around and be present. I'm Karen Woodson. I've been a member of the Corps for the past year, and before that was an employee of Americans for Safe Access. So welcome, and I appreciate all of you out here tonight. We have definitely an exciting meeting. Thanks for coming out.
At this point, before we have people briefly introduce themselves, I'd like to have you look at the meeting rules. We ask you not to interrupt. We ask you to raise your hand and wait to be recognized. Please assume best intentions. Be respectful when disagreeing. It's okay to disagree, but not be disagreeable. And please do not be repetitive. At this point, we'd like to go around the room and have you very briefly introduce yourselves. If you want to talk later to a group of people about something that you're really excited about, you'll have time after the meeting during break to do so, okay? And so we'll start with Ken. Let's give a big salute to Ken Hodnett, who's recording this for tonight. Is Sunny Angula here? I want to introduce Sunny. She is the aide, one of the aides to Supervisor Jane Kim of District 6, which I believe includes this area. Please give her a big round of applause.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for being here tonight.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for inviting me.
Okay. Well, we now go around the room. Please briefly introduce yourselves, and if you're new, tell us how you found out about us.
I'm Okie Joe. I'm here to feel like here.
Thank you. Peter?
Yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Peter Qualls. I represent not only myself, but my...
I'd also like to encourage you to sign up for the ASA Bay Area email alerts. It's about no more than about 3 or 4 emails a day, if that's too much. Generally less, but we try to keep people informed of important events in the medical marijuana community. And you can go to safeaccessnow.org and choose sign up for email alerts. That's safeaccessnow.org. And there you can choose to get email alerts from the national area, from Northern California, Bay Area, or any other parts of the country for which there are alerts, which include Southern California, I believe East Coast, DC, and so on. So I hope you'll consider that. And there's a sign-up sheet here. If you do sign up, I'm the one who has to put it on the email list. Please print super plainly. I have bad eyesight. Otherwise, I won't be able to read your email address and it won't get on. You'll wonder why it didn't get on.
And we need zip code as well if you sign up.
Yeah, please you don't have to give us your address, but your zip code would be very helpful. At this point, I'd like to pass around the donation jar. Just send it around. You don't have to carry it around for anybody. Anyone who can make a donation, please do. Thank you. It helps support our cause. Our next item is Hunter with the MCD update.
So we are very happy to announce that the Planning Commission approved another permit at 471 Jesse Street. The new dispensary is going to be called the JM Collective. And you guys may be familiar with some of the operators. They are former operators of MetaThrive. So this is going to be kind of like a new side project for them. And it's great to see the Planning Commission is continuing to show their support of safe access right now. That's big up to them. On top of that, one of the permits that was issued back in February, the dispensary called Herbal Mission at 3139 Mission Street is going to be opening actually on, Friday? Yeah, April 20th. So you guys are in the neighborhood, kind of Excelsior Outer Mission, definitely stop by. They've got a cool storefront going up. Looks really nice. And then on top of that, Grassroots is going to be opening their second location sometime in May. We don't have a definite date on that quite yet, but that's going to be located at 952 Mission Street as well.
Tony? And Tony's now up with the San Francisco United update.
All right, so most of you know about the SF United campaign from the rally we had at City Hall a couple weeks ago. We had 600 people to show up. We had almost all the supervisors. We marched over to the federal building. We told Melinda Haig, the U.S. attorney, she was a coward for what she was doing. And we called out the mayor. We really wanted him to make a statement. So since then, we did have our mayor join our chorus in calling out the feds and telling them to stop attacking us. Also, we had a group of SF United stakeholders confront Nancy Pelosi at City Hall at an event she was attending. They were able to express that we needed her help in ending this federal crackdown. We did not get a confirmation whether or not she's going to help us, but hopefully we made an impression. We're going to keep it up until we get the federal government to back down from this latest federal attack. I want to thank all of you that showed up to that rally. Yes! That's what we need. We need people power. We need to show that we have the strength because right now we do have the numbers, but we need more people taking action on this issue. So thank you again for coming out, and I hope you'll come out again when we call upon you all. Thank you.
I just want to add that there was a meeting with Dan Bernal, who is the main liaison for Pelosi in the Bay Area, in the San Francisco office.
Great.
And that 3 people from the medical cannabis community, Dale Geringer and Michael and Michelle Aldridge, some of you may know them, met with Dan Bernal and Tina Rubio, operations director, and Nicole Rivera on staff. And one of the things that came up in the meeting was what can be done to get changes in the policy of the DOJ. And Dan Bernal replied that Representative Farr has written the DOJ to inquire about the raids, and Representative Stark has written the IRS demanding information about why they're no longer allowing certain dispensaries to deduct their business expenses, claiming that under Section 280 of the Internal Revenue Service Code, you can't deduct for controlled substance sales. We're moving on now to the Sacramento update. Karen?
Oh. All right. Before we get to the first of our 2 featured speakers tonight, I wanted to let you know a little bit about what's going on in Sacramento, and then we're going to invite Mr. Quentin Mecchi up here to talk a little bit more in detail about Assemblyman Amiano's bill. But first, To the bad news. There are two pieces of legislation that ASA is currently working to oppose in Sacramento, and those are AB 2465, which is a bill introduced by Assemblyman Campos. This bill would require that all medical marijuana patients and their primary caregivers register with the state and actually obtain an ID card. Obviously, ASA supports this as they see it as an unconstitutional sort of addition to Prop 215, which says, and SB 420, which sort of indicate that the ID card and registering with the state are voluntary. So this law would actually make it mandatory. So AB 2465.
It's been withdrawn.
Good. Well, good.
We just found out today the bill was withdrawn.
Sorry.
So we won't be required
Has
to
Torres-
register with the
Torres
state
bill?
as we are right now.
Okay. So then Torres bill is still live. That's AB 2552. That's another bill that we're opposing. And that bill would mandate that any driver who tests positive for marijuana use in the blood or urine be charged with a DUI offense. And to my knowledge, there isn't yet an exception for medical marijuana patients. So this was clearly be a problematic piece of legislation because, especially for medical marijuana patients who are chronic patients or who use high doses of marijuana, there's always going to be residual metabolites in your system. So bad news on that bill. AB 2552, mark it down. It's the second bill from the bottom. Bad bill. Call your, well, I'm sure we can count on Assemblyman Almiano to oppose this piece of legislation, but let your friends and family know in other jurisdictions to please call their assemblymen and oppose this bill. On to the good bills. First, on the Senate side, our distinguished senator here, Mark Leno, is sponsoring Senate Bill 1182, which would clarify SB 420, just to make, basically to codify into law the 2008 Attorney General guidelines. And that would sort of make legal the cultivation, sales, and transportation of marijuana in accordance with what was set out in the guidelines, which for the most part, I think we all agree are reasonable. So friends and family in other jurisdictions, make sure they're calling their senators and supporting SB 1182. Also in the Assembly is AB 2600 by Norby. This bill would prohibit the Department of Motor Vehicles from revoking a person's driver's license following a conviction for simple possession of less than an ounce. So right now, your driver's license can be taken away as a form of punishment or sanctioned by the state for possessing more than an or for less than an ounce of marijuana, and so this bill would reverse that. Clearly, ASA supports that bill because in the event that medical marijuana patients may be convicted of that ounce or less, we want to see their driver's license maintained. So again, contact your friends and families if Almiano isn't yet supporting this bill. It's AB 2600 by Norby, and we really need that support. Our final bill that we're going to have to talk about, and this is really the big kahuna, this is what we're all fighting for, is Assembly Bill 2312, which has been introduced by our distinguished assemblyman here in San Francisco, Mr. Tom Almiano. And this bill would basically create a gigantic enforcement administration with the state of California and sort of make all of us in some way, shape, or form get a license with the state, register cultivators, and create some different enforcement standards. So I'm going to introduce Quentin Mecke, who's here from Mr. Almiano's office, to tell us a little bit more about the bill. Hold your questions for the end because we will leave some time for Q&A. But thank you, Quentin, for being here.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for having me. I can at least report on some good news for today. The bill passed its first policy committee, the Public Safety Committee, by a vote of 4-2, straightly along party lines. So as Karen mentioned, the bill would, for lack of a better explanation, create a new state bureaucracy. But essentially geared towards answering the question which has been plaguing the medical cannabis community for many years, which is rather than having a patchwork system of jurisdictions and counties engage in regulation of cannabis, those who have enacted those regulations, rather than having a patchwork system, it would be statewide regulation, setting essentially a floor, not necessarily a ceiling, but a floor for what regulation would look like. It would be a 9-member bureau housed in the Consumer Affairs Department. Within that department, that body would be charged with creating rules around cultivation, distribution,